Welcome to Dicejunkies. Today we have a very special guest, Angel Desai. We've got Q on this interview with us, so we're very excited to have her on board. Just to give you a little breakdown of our show, we are a geek culture talk show, and one of the reasons we brought you on is you're involved in a couple of geek culture projects that I'm passionate about, both Marvel and the Gears of War franchise. So, Angel, thank you very much for joining us and giving us your time today.
Thank you for having me. It's so nice to be here. I was saying to Clint in an email, like, I consider myself to be a geek about a number of things myself. So this is my favorite kind of conversation.
If you ever watch our show, we have something called Random Encounters. And there's a question. We roll a dice to see which question we discuss as a group. And
Okay.
one of the ideas that Q came up with is your guilty pleasure television show. And mine is Angel, which we've been discussing via email. And I didn't know that Q was actually a Buffy-verse fan. We had talked about 2 hours
This
about
jerk
the
set up here and
Buffy-verse.
said, "Well, I know you don't watch Angel and Buffy." And I was like, "I watched the original movie. I watched the whole series up to the finale. I watched Angel. I watched this the last time that Buffy appeared as the Slayer, which was on Angel when she just made everybody." Oh, so spoilers. I don't know how far you are in it, but
No, I have rewatched. I'm off book for many of those episodes. No, I have rewatched both those, and I actually got my boyfriend to watch all of Buffy. He loved it too, and he's not like, you know, I don't know that he'd like Angel, but
I played
maybe.
the tabletop of Buffy. I have played Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I have been a Slayer. Like he doesn't even know it existed. Like I played the tabletop of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And favorite scene, since we brought it up, is I love the one when Angel is in there, and I forgot the name. I'm bad with the names because I watched it when it aired and have not seen it since then. But when the guy had taken his son and send him off to the demon world, and he sits there and he goes, "All right, I want you to know," Angel's talking to me, he says, "I want you to know that this is me, Angel, not Angelus."
Oh, when he
Yeah,
goes
yeah.
to Wesley in the hospital.
Yeah, he goes, "I want you to know, I'm not
Yeah.
evil me, this is me." He goes, "Okay." Then he tries to kill him.
Yes,
Because I
and
want
then
you to know
he
me as a
smothers his-
dad. I'm
yeah.
trying to, and I'm a dad, so I was just like, I want you to know it's me. It's not vampire me. I, Angel the father, am about to choke yo
to death because you kidnapped my son, got my son kidnapped. Yeah, that was horrifying. That was horrifying. And it made it made everything sink. Like I just felt like my heart just sort of that acidy feeling like, oh no. And just the whole arc that followed. I mean, it was great for the actors, but it was so depressing. It was
Yeah, I
so
think that was the finale for season
Mhm.
3. And one of the things that Joss Whedon has done with Angel is every season ending with just a massive cliffhanger.
yeah.
I remember season 2 when Angel was put into an iron box and thrown in the bottom of the ocean, and then season 3 whenever they were jumping into the hell portal.
Remember when he became the president of the evil firm? That was a wild
Wolfram and
one.
Hart.
That
Yeah.
was a good one. I
Well,
mean,
yeah,
but yeah, he had the
was
nerve
I was
to say, "I
scratching my
don't
head
know
like,
this."
why would you join Wolfram and Hart? Okay. And as we talked about it on via email in season 5, you can tell where they took a hard right turn when they found out they weren't going to be renewed, and they had to wrap up the series.
Did you know that you remember at the end of season 5 of Buffy where she dies? Spoiler, sorry.
It doesn't stay.
Well, that's the thing though, is that because they thought they were getting canned, and then they got picked up by I think CW, and then it was like, oh, well, so now what do we do now? So I think they were figuring out. Speaking of which, I forget sometimes that I was actually on a Joss Whedon show. I was on Dollhouse, and I don't know if there's any folks watching but I'm in a couple episodes of that as well.
Yeah, actually, Elijah Dushku was one of my favorite actors. I loved her as Faith in Buffy and Angel. But yeah, she's a phenomenal actress. And then I haven't seen Dollhouse, but I did research it after you had mentioned it, and I was like, that looks like a pretty interesting show. You do some really fascinating, probably some questionable things.
There and I will say, one of the yeah, there was that was the first time that I had a stunt double. Some of the moves that we were doing in that fight were me, and some of it were stunt double moves. They always get a stunt double. You were asking earlier about, the stage combat and martial arts and stuff. I'm not an expert in any of those things, but I have enough that I can definitely learn choreography, like fight choreography, pretty fast. That being said, there's always a stunt double for safety. And when it comes to martial arts, I think that's the irony. I know we're jumping around a lot, but I think that's the irony of not having a comic book hero from Asia, because it's like, hello, the whole a whole system of martial arts for so many of those countries for hundreds of years, and you don't have some Asian people kicking ass on a regular basis. Like, I just don't understand that. Anyway, that's a tangent. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. So on a set, so you have, and the way they explained it, at least on that set, was like, if the camera's on the actor, the person that the actor's fighting is the stunt double, and vice versa, so that there's always some safety built in. I did get to do a little bit of a move on the Blue Bloods episode that I shot in December for this latest season. I had a stunt double for that too, but we practiced the move that I do in that episode a lot for like a couple of hours, and that was fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
So hold on a moment there, Blood X. Now, so Joss Whedon. No.
Oh yeah, I remember bringing up Dollhouse earlier in the conversation in the context of Angel and Buffy, and I don't remember why, because we were talking about
Joss Whedon.
Talking about guilty pleasures. I talked about Angel was my guilty pleasure show.
Yes, but I was gonna say something specific. I don't remember what it was at all. Yeah, I don't remember.
That's probably for the best. I was trying to start something, asking about Joss Whedon. He seems to be trending.
I know. I feel very sad because here was my encounters with Joss are two. I was doing a show on Broadway called Company. It was a revival of a Stephen Sondheim show. We did the Broadway revival from 2006 to 7, where we were the orchestra as well as the actors. So we are the orchestra accompanying ourselves doing the thing. And one night, Stephen Sondheim is at the show on a sort of an odd night, like in the middle of the week kind of thing. And we're like, Steve, what are you doing here tonight? And he's like, oh, Joss Whedon and his wife are here, and they wanted him. And I was like, what? And I grabbed the then 77-year-old man, genius, by the shoulders. I was like, where is he? You have to just here. And he was like, oh, I don't know where we are, but we're going to such and such restaurant after the show. You should come. And my friend in the cast who had gotten me hooked on Buffy, and his understudy who also was hooked on Buffy and Angel, I was like, guys, they're going to be at Orzo after the show. You're coming with me. And they were like, but we haven't been invited. What did I say? I was like, ditch your fear. No, something. I said some other better word than that. I was like, get rid of your fear. We are going. And we ended up having dinner with Stephen Sondheim and Joss Whedon and his wife Kai, and it was so fun. And it was we got to the point where we ignored Sondheim. We weren't even talking to him because we were just pelting Joss with stories. He asked us to sign his show poster. Like, he's a huge musical theater fan, as you probably know. And then my second encounter was I got called back for that movie. What's that horror movie that was also funny that he produced, that Drew Goddard wrote? The Woods, The Cabin in the Woods, I think it's called.
What is it? The Cabin in the Woods? I'll check it out. Go ahead.
And I auditioned. There was a code name, and Amy Acker eventually played the part, but I went in and Joss was there for the callback. So my personal experience with him was that he was nice. And Tim Minear, who was directing me in the Dollhouse episodes, was super nice. It's very sad. I believe Charisma Carpenter. It's just sad.
It is, especially when I read what she had posted. It seems like that she was really bullied on the set. Some of the insults that were hurled, I think, were completely inappropriate. And looking back at the episodes of Angel in season 3, it's kind of starts to make sense with why her performance was the way it was. Um, but yeah, I think the world of Charisma Carpenter. I loved the episode she was in Supernatural. Um,
Oh, she's in an episode. Don't tell
yeah,
me.
oh yeah, she is, and she does a
Hey, stop! She said no
her
spoilers.
performance. Her performance in that episode was phenomenal. I
Okay.
love it. I think the actor that played Spike is her husband, if I remember correctly.
Oh my God, really? Because
Huh.
I thought James Marsters was perfect. That's like just perfect.
I liked when he was on Angel. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that his character got to keep going.
Yeah.
After that, because I
That
felt
was
like
actually that. Oh, sorry, Quinn. Go ahead.
no, you go ahead. I mean, you're the guest.
Well, yeah, but you were talking.
I talk all the time. I don't ever stop.
Well, all I was going to say was that was the joke that I made to Joss Whedon's, but it was actually something I felt compelled to say to him because I had just watched for the first time the last episode of Buffy, and I was so it was one of those moments. It was like the end of Infinity War, when I didn't know what was coming, and I stared at the end of the screen. At the end of Infinity War, I actually got up out of my seat. I just went, no, at the screen. Like I actually did that in the theater. I was like, and my friend who already knew what was coming, who read all the comics, was just like, he was just like, and I that's what happens at the end of Buffy with Spike. So when he comes back on Angel, I'm just like, okay. But I did tell Joss, I was like, I didn't think I'd ever be able to speak to you after what you did to Spike. I didn't think I'd be able to be. Oh no, I said I didn't think I'd be able to be nice to you if I met you in person. After that's what I said to him.
Yeah, so looking at I looked it up. So it's episode 5 of season 7, and James Marsters is her husband in that episode. So I had to look it back up again, and he played a different type of character than Spike. Spike was always kind of that slimy sleazeball type character, but in this one he's a lot more professional. It's almost kind of like that. They're wealthy, and he kind of plays the aristocrat in the episode. So it's I enjoyed that one a lot.
I don't know if he completed all the years at Juilliard, but he's a Juilliard trained actor. Like I think that's part of why he was so versatile and able to. I mean, just because you go to one of the fancy schools does not necessarily mean that you're a versatile actor, but I happen to think that that part of his versatility is attributable to that. I don't know if he'd say that, but I can't wait to see. It's going to take me a minute to catch up to that. So at some point after I've watched some, I will get back in touch with you and then tell you.
Yeah, I think season 8 is where it goes off the rails for me a little bit. But season 1 through, it was written to be a 5-season show originally.
Oh, wow.
And so at the end of the 5th season, it's a nice wrap up of the storyline. But it was so popular with the fans. I mean, it had millions of viewers. So they like the CW was, or WB at the time was, or whoever it was. Let's pick it up again and pick it up again and pick it up again, and we were 15 seasons. So the synopsis of the story is basically it's 2 brothers that are hunting supernatural creatures, vampires, ghouls, demons. So it's one of those shows that if you like supernatural things like Buffy, and Angel, it touches on a lot of those things, but it's a little bit darker than Angel is. They don't mind killing characters off at all.
Right. So, it's not. And that was one of the things that I appreciated about, again, keeping in mind that I believe the actors, I forget the name of the actor who was in the Justice League that felt mistreated by Joss. I don't discount any of what they say they went through. Yeah. But I also know from interviews, like it's weird when you hear things about someone who you have been admiring, because I also loved how he handled the Avengers movies and uh, and also I loved the stamp of his writing that he tried to sort of impress on his shows, which was, if you're going to kill a character off, I think I was saying this to you in our emails. If you're going to kill a character off, it's going to mean more if people actually have an attachment to that character, and making sure that you care about people is more important than just fancy plot lines. And I really love that about the shows that he produced and wrote for, because that's what I love about them. It's, you really feel such tremendous love for the characters. I do, anyway.
Yeah, the actor's name was Ray Fisher. I do want to thank Angel Desai for spending our time with us today. We have had a phenomenal time, lots of rabbit holes, but we are very appreciative of your time, and we thank you very much for joining us.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for having me on. I've so much enjoyed talking to you. I love conversations like this. This is such a pleasure to meet you, and thank you for asking me to be here.
Yeah, I definitely had a great time. We love it when we get to talk to a guest about subjects that we all love. So few do I see an interview where you really get to see what a person's interests are and see real conversations. That's what we aim for here. I think of them almost as more of a sit-down talk than an interview, because half the time we get to talking about all kind of stuff, and then it's like, oh, wait, yeah, this person has a job. We should talk about the stuff they do on occasion. If people want to know more about you, where can they find that information?
Oh, that's right. AngelDesai.com is my website. I finally got one years and years and decades after everybody else stopped having them. But Angel Desai, AngelDesai.com.
All right.
And I am also on Instagram and Facebook. Yeah.